heading down to the south
the
community.
south community. So this is straight south of the city, or straight south of downtown, starting at about Glenmore Trail going south.
Yeah, and you see a lot of these, well, all of them are in the negative year-over-year growth here, which is great because they went crazy, Tim. The prices.
Well, this is the number of sales. The actual average prices, they fluctuate. You know, some communities did great, some did not so great. Oof. But they're basically holding their prices, these communities, because they are in, you know, blue chip communities, sort of outside of the ring of really expensive communities right around the downtown area. Once you get the next step out of that, you're starting to see these communities start to hold their value a lot more than they did years ago. We see lots of great communities that are at a good price. Midnapore, Queensland, Sundance, those types of communities, they're holding their value and people are picking them up at a reasonable price where rents are the same as they are if you're a little closer into the city, so you can cash flow on these properties.
Yeah, you can see Canyon Meadows had a huge growth here, and that's because of the big homes in there. A lot of those got turned over. So out of these communities, once again, Midnapore is a lifestyle community. You got Fish Creek Park right there, then you've got the lake as well. Not only that, I think people have realized, we shopped with some people that moved down from Fort Mac earlier in the year. They were moving back to Calgary. They worked for Suncor Energy. And you know what? They just saw that they were going to get a massive lot in Midnapore. They paid up to $700,000. It was walking distance to the C train, which is great. Midnapore does have some shopping there as well, a little shopping village. And there's actually a university down in Midnapore. So there's a lot of pluses going on from Midnapore. Queensland, once again, the back of it is siding on to Fish Creek Park. They have also their little shopping village there as well. And Queensland became attractive because, Tim, there was a lot of homes in there that are lower priced homes, and you get good lots as well. Easy to rent out in Queensland. You just have to watch the quality of property you're buying to cash flow. And we always say this, if you have a rundown property, you're basically going to get rundown tenants. So you need to buy quality properties, especially, Tim, in this market where there is more inventory, you have more choice. You need to offer good quality, and then you're going to get higher rents. It's as simple as that. All of these other communities in here on the west side, Braeside, Cedar Brae, we love. Once that ring road went in, we love what the Taza development's doing. There's more and more stuff going in there. They're also building, so they're also building residential purpose-built rentals, or some of them are on 100-year leases, so they're not actual rentals, but there are going to be rentals in there. So you just have to factor in what supply levels are going to be close by. That is a three different sections.
You can already see the housing start to go up by the casino there, by the Grey Eagle Casino. If you look by those dealerships where the new dealerships are, you can see new residential buildings going up. So that's where most of the housing is going to be. It's not going to be really close to the Costco part of it. Yeah. So it all depends. You know, they may open up more areas for redevelopment. So you have to watch that. That's a long-term thing that you have to keep an eye on.
Yeah, Haysbro, Acadia, it's always been solid. We've been investing in there for 20 years. The rents you get in Acadia, you could go on our Crew TV. We just bought a townhouse that we paid $330,000 for. We put $65,000 in renovations into it, and we just rented it for $2,700 at a townhouse in Acadia, not far from the Chick-fil-A down there. $2,700 because the renovations were top notch, and you know what? It can attract those sorts of tenants. So keep that in mind in these communities that you can cash flow. That property there is cash flowing close to $700 per month in Acadia. And one thing to note with townhomes, if we're going to talk about that, Tim, is there a slide just on townhomes or no?
No.
It's on condos. So with the townhomes, what we've found just recently over the last few years is the developers are really cheaping out when they're building these new townhomes. First of all, they're either stacking them, they're stacked townhomes when they're building them, and they're maxing out what they can build on the lots. So what we mean by that is the older townhome complexes, if you go into Willow Park or the one we just bought in Acadia or anywhere, Haysbro, all of these communities have them really. The complexes the townhouses are in are much larger. They've got dedicated green spaces in them. They've got parking, right?
Yeah.
They actually got parking. The new developments, oh my goodness, you got to drive around to find where to park.
We went into one in Redstone, a new townhouse development, and the townhouses, they're very tight. They're stacked. Plus, some of the units, you have to walk into a central doorway, and then the doors to each unit are off of that hallway. So it's almost like a little apartment building, but they're called townhouses. You walk into those front doors. You do have stall parking. You don't have garages, but each of those townhouses is almost like a little mini apartment building. It doesn't feel like a townhouse. It feels like an apartment when you're in there. Yeah. And that's the new types they're building right now.
Yeah, and so just keep that in mind with these older areas. The complexes are huge, and people see that value, especially if they have pets and they can just walk out and there's grass there. It's perfect. And the older townhouses, you can actually get a backyard or a front yard, like a fenced your own area where they're just not building them like that anymore. So keep that in mind. Moving down the list, Fairview's a great option. You're so close to Chinook, McLeod Trail. There's a lot of things happening there, a lot of good things with restaurants and stuff like that. Ogden, we love Ogden. It's gone through a transition in the last couple of years. You'll see the developers going in there, building their MLI Select products, or you'll see people building infills. It's perfect for that. We love buying properties that have multiple exit strategies, meaning that you can buy it today, you can legalize it, you can cash flow, but then in 10 years' time, 15 years' time, you can go in, knock it down, build a 4-plex, 8-plex, build whatever you want, small apartment building. And by that time, finally, the C train should be down there. So there's a lot of positives. You just have to watch out what's on your street. There is some beautiful streets in Ogden. We just bought a bunch of them this summer. And these trees are massive, Tim. Like you don't see that in the city. I mean, you go to places like Winnipeg, or I'm trying to think where else, where there's streets and suburbs like that everywhere.
Yeah, you may see it in Capitol Hill and Rosemont and things like that, just outside of downtown in Calgary here. But to see it that far out in the suburbs, you don't see those massive trees like that on a decently priced property. You can see it in the estate areas, of course, but those are $1 million properties. To see it in Ogden, it really makes the community attractive.
Yeah, moving on to Woodbine, Woodlands area, we think that is the hidden gem in Calgary. You're a stone's throw away from Fish Creek Park. With the ring road, you can really get anywhere. And some of those houses in there, we were putting our clients in just for the value, okay? You take the same square footage and you put that square footage in other communities. And Tim, they would be similar communities to the west side, like Strathcona or Signal Hill. And those prices on the west side would be $750, $800, $850 for the same square footage. In Woodbine, you can get on cul-de-sac streets, you can get with facing a park for way less than that.
Yeah, and I remember when we started in real estate, we'd have to go show a property down in Woodbine. We go, oh God, that's so far away. We got to go all the way to Woodbine. Yeah. Now, from our office to Woodbine, we hop out on the west side on the ring road. We're in Woodbine in less than 20 minutes. Yeah. Not in rush hour, but in regular traffic. So because of the upgrades in our road transportation, it's very easy to get there. And it is right beside the ring road. So you've got that going for you.